seconds remaining.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the 4th season of the SLI Invitational. We have SG Esports going up against Sacred. And man, I called it yesterday. It only takes a couple of games to tell Sacred are not performing as well as they could. Just looking at this crew, looking at their accomplishments, the fact that they got themselves to the summit, the fact that they were one of the best, easily, debatably number one in the region, and now they're performing like this. It breaks my heart to see. I want to see the Sacred from before. I want to bring me back a couple months, guys. Give me the Sacred from then, because those dudes were on fire. Let's see what's going to happen here in the second game. SG Esports were able to outlast and stall, and ultimately get to a tipping point where they just went off. Sacred tilted out of the last game, literally rage quit out, and I hope for their sake that they have to, they've composed themselves. It really wasn't that long of a break. It was actually just like 3 minutes or 4 minutes or whatever. So, here's hoping that they still have some rock-solid composure. I'm Mike Loris, going to be your caster for this game. Again, we are in the second round, the last best of 3. Sacred versus SG Esports. Winner moves on to face up against Pain Gaming in the finals happening tomorrow. So you guys definitely want to stick around for this SA Dota Fest. Let's take a look at the bans. We do have the Bounty Hunter being kicked out this time. He's going to take the place of the Night Stalker, I believe. And other than that, it's all the same bans from last game. So, yeah, very similar stuff. These teams definitely know what they don't like. But Sacred will get their hands onto a Night Stalker. SG Esports opening Ogre Magi, Elder Titan, Sacred go, Night Stalker Puck. Alright, Night Stalker Puck is pretty... I mean, it's not... I don't want to call it basic, but it's like such an easy opening to get because it really does it all. You get all this vision, you get all this initiation power, you have all this lane control, you're really difficult to kill. The only thing it doesn't do is offer you really good scaling, I guess. But, I mean, you can't literally have everything with your first 2 picks. These 2 heroes cover so many of the bases from Sacred. The fact they're able to get both of these 2 heroes in particular, honestly, a little bit surprising. These heroes are very frequently seen banned out. Night Stalker a little bit more so than the Puck. But we are also seeing a couple more Pucks being banned out nowadays. And, man, the fact that they're able to not only get through to the first pick phase, but also picked up by the same team that don't have the 2 consecutive picks. That's pretty insane. SG Esports used their picks for Ogre Magi, Elder Titan. Now, these guys are, not as versatile as the Night Stalker Puck. As heroes in a vacuum, these heroes are definitely a lot weaker, but these are a little bit more of supplementary heroes from the SG Esports side. These are the supporting crew from SG. They have the Bloodlust, they'll have the damage amplification through the attack speed, I guess, but also through that natural order aura, also looking at that stomp setup, or the combo breaking power of the Elder Titan. Again, these 2 heroes from SG Esports aren't really powerful heroes by themselves. They are enablers for other heroes. So that's really going to be where SG Esports are going to find their power. It's what cores are they going to pick up, and how much space can they buy for those cores? I mean, even if they get a little bit of pressure early on, Ogre and Magi and Elder Titan are definitely some of the best bruisers in the game. They will just sit there and fight you, and you probably won't win. Night Stalker might win in some situations, but it's really hard to out fist fight an ET and an Ogre Magi. So looking at some really premium, perhaps later game carries from the SG Esports side. Most of the big ones are banned out. Got Weaver, Drow, and Medusa all going to hit the bin. You can still go for your, Phantom Lancers and Anti-Mages and stuff like that, but really difficult call right now up against 2 silences on the Night Stalker and the Puck. So, I mean, normally you would like to just try to angle yourselves towards these really powerful late game heroes. They can go for a tiny. I don't think that's all that bad. They're very resistant to that Puck and Night Stalker. Sand King is not tiny, but it's also going to go to a different lane. Should be the offlane select here for SG Esports. A couple more additional disables. And man, oh man, do they have disables now. Everyone has some sort of stun. The damage, although on these heroes, not super high, is definitely, together with the Elder Titan aura, going to be enough to get some kills. This is looking like Sacred now at this point, who really don't have any of their heavy hitting cores. Puck should be going towards the off lane, I would imagine. Should be BKB carriers. That is not going to be one of their cores. They're all just picking up these kind of stray supports that are still slipping through the pool. But yeah, BKB carriers for sure will be really nice for Sacred to have. Or just like magic immune heroes. Like looking at Lifestealer right now for Sacred, that seems really, really powerful.
10 seconds remaining.
You do have not much to deal with actually as a Lifestealer. They will go for the tiny because I said they should, and obviously they're all listening to me right now. And obviously I know best. But yeah, Lifestealer seems like a nuts pick here for Sacred. Maybe they're going to go for the mid lane first here and see if they can still get their hands on Lifestealer afterwards. But yeah, as long as the mid lane select for Sacred is either going to be really high range, because everyone SG Esports is melee, or a BKB carrier, then they should be good to go. Man, kind of a pity that for Sacred they themselves banned out the Medusa. That would have been a really powerful pick here. Like, just the fact that she's up against 4 melee heroes. Now, who are the real big heroes at punishing melee heroes coming out of the mid lane? If you really want to go greedy, no, I don't think a DK will work. I mean, DK is pretty damn resilient here, but Invoker, he's not really seen anymore. Tinker is a decent hero to have, although these SG Sports heroes are, though melee and will struggle in a fight up against Tinker, they are definitely good at picking Tinker off. So I'm not really sure if that's the direction they necessarily want to go towards.
Radiant team.
Someone like a Gyrocopter faces Void combo for Sacred? No, not gonna happen. Razor's the pick for Sacred. And he's not too bad either. I mean, just looking at the potential mid lanes that SG Esports can actually pick up right now versus the Razor, there aren't really many that'll give them a super favorable matchup. That will also be good with the Ogre Magi and the Bloodlust. You can put a lot of that onto the Tiny and kind of just, have him be the real heavy hitter, and rest assured he will hit pretty hard. But Sacred will have this Razor with the Puck as two kind of very independent lanes. It is very, very rare that you see a lane where Razor has difficulty or Puck has difficulty to the point where they're going to need help from their allies. So Witch Doctor and Night Stalker, therefore, are going to be able to go around literally wherever they want and do whatever they want. And looking at Witch Doctor in particular, as far as support heroes that are good versus mass melee heroes, that's Witch Doctor. You will maybe get caught up in all the AoE disables of SG Esports, and then you'll get stomped to the ground. That happens. But when it doesn't happen, you'll be able to cask them, and that chain stun is going to be real. Sacred are pretty well teched up to deal with this mass amount of melee heroes from the SG Esports side. And they can still get even more. Razor can go towards the mid lane, you can go towards the safe lane right now. So if Sacred, they could still go for even more scaling if they really want to. Even harsher punishments versus these melee heroes. Alternatively, putting a Razor in the mid lane and grabbing that Lifesteal, I still think that's a pretty solid choice here. Would be pretty sweet to see. The Doom is going to get banned out here. Seems like SGs think that this Puck's going mid with a Razor in the safe lane. If you're looking for an off lane to punish melee heroes, there is a certain 3-letter hero that has a pretty good weapon that he might want to ask you a question about. I heard that guy's pretty good against melee heroes. He's okay. Brew is banned out, would also have been a pretty nuts hero. The Sacred can just Tide again. Actually, Tide is pretty sick. Tide is just going to have such great matchups. Okay, yeah, you can go for all these cool heroes, these fun heroes, these rarely seen heroes, or you can go for a Tide Hunter and, get a good hero. If you want to, I guess. Jeez, so boring. So SG, they need a mid laner. They need a mid laner that is going to go up against quite a few disables. I don't know. Do they cop out and pick a Queen of Pain? It definitely does seem like they need a little more scaling. They have a lot of stuns, but they need additional damage to actually get the kills off of those stuns. How good is TA here? TA doesn't seem great. It probably isn't going to be finding that much success here. It does look like for SG Esports, like if there's ever a game to dip into the pool of underseen heroes, this is going to be one of them. They can OD pretty well, actually. Again, the silences are going to be fairly annoying, but you have all this bulk on the front lines. You really need someone who can just sit back and just fire in.
5 seconds
Sacred will have some bypass to get to the back lines, Puck namely the biggest one. I wonder if SG could also like hoo-hoo-ha-ha this game. Both these heroes that I just said, OD and Sniper, I actually didn't say Sniper, I just heavily implied Sniper. Both of them are really nice to have with the Bloodlust. If they want to play it safe, they could also just go for Mirana. Wow. How great am I at predicting drafts? I mean, I just named like a million heroes, so, you know, probably I'm going to be right on one of them. But yeah, I mentioned Lifestealer earlier. I didn't really explain why he's good. First of all, you're with Puck, right? So you get that access route in. You have Magic Community up against a team that is pretty much reliant on just killing you during stun combos. Mark Warden, there you go. And yeah, that's sometimes good enough. You're up against all these strength heroes who have really high health and really low armor. Or maybe not like low armor. Ogre Magi has 1,000,000 armor, but you know, more health than armor. So Lifestealer's Feast will just cut through them that much easier. As far as answers to the Lifestealer, SG Sports really don't have any. You could toss Lifestealer away, I guess. It's something. But the last pick is going to be an Arc Warden, which is, you know, admittedly not a hero that's actually on my radar. Like when I'm thinking of what heroes can I pick up, Arc Warden just isn't in that pool of heroes. Maybe that makes me a bad caster. It probably does. But I already mentioned the criteria for SG Sports. You want a hero that is able to hide behind this wall of melee heroes, do some damage from a ranged. Arc Warden, check. You want a hero that is going to get, you know, some amplification from Bloodlust. So, you know, Tinker, though he can hide behind these heroes, with Bloodlust, Tinker is whatever. Or like a Zeus or something like that. Like, it doesn't actually do anything for them. So, Arc Warden definitely has those benefits. As well, that's a check. Now, he is going to have some issues in the fact that Puck and Lifestealer can get on top of an Arc Warden and do him in incredibly quickly. And Arc Warden, just in general, I feel like his laning phase is a little bit inconsistent. Will need a lot of help from the Ogre Magi to really set things up there. But if you are able to set things up, Flux, those Wraiths, together with the slows from the Bloodlust, and the fact that you're going to be moving slightly faster, no, the slows from the Ignite, and the Bloodlust that makes you move faster, means that it should be a semi-quiet game for the Arc Warden. And that's all you want. As an Arc Warden, you don't really want interaction. You will go into the 2v1s when you have the 2 and they have the 1. You're going to be happy to do that. But for the most part, Arc Warden, really what he wants to do is sit back and chill and farm, get that Hand of Midas, and just try to power up towards the late game. I don't mind this pick one bit for SG Sports. Normally when I see Arc Warden, I'm like, you know, it's not really that great here. Has some strength, has some weaknesses. And for sure, they can answer this Arc Warden. It's not like he doesn't have any weaknesses in this game. But I really, really like when teams pick Arc Warden last pick. I feel like that is by far, so easily, the best way to play Arc Warden. Because you really want to make sure you don't get screwed over by having any like assassin type heroes hunting for you the entire time. Because that's not going to be fun. Isn't quite to the caliber of like a Broodmother or a Huskar who could like insta-win a game if they're not addressed. Like Arc Warden can do well, but he's not going to insta-win you the game. But man, just ensuring him a good early phase, trying to set him up for success. These are all the important things you want from your Arc Warden. He's going to go towards the bottom lane, actually. Costa's going to be playing him. It's going to mean that we have a mid-Tiny played by ADR. The post is on the offlane Sand King. That was expected with Bardino's Ogre Magi and Theo's Elder Titan. So, mid-Tiny, I have not seen much of in this patch. I feel like most of the time they're just strict dual lanes with IO, and that's really kind of rare. But on the other end, got Leo Style on the Razor. Tekka is going to be playing a Puck. Matthew is on the Night Stalker. Benjaz is on the Lifestealer. And Masoku is on the Witch Doctor. Hallelujah, we've done it. Celebrate good times. Benjaz is on the carry. And Tekka is on the off lane. Guys, we've done it. We've solved Sacred's problems. They figured out how to play the game to its maximum effectiveness. Oh, it's about frickin' time, man. About freaking time. This setup has done them so much work in the past, and I like seeing it again. Now, if they lose here, it's fine. Like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Sometimes shit happens, but you know they're going back to what works. They're not trying to mess with things too much, and I do appreciate that. With this setup, specifically in the mid lane, Leo Style, I would assume, has like a really, really clean lane. Ogre Magi is usually pretty good at just putting himself right here and whoa, okay, my bad, guys.
It shall be duly noted.
I have no excuse. I'm just a terrible cameraman. I'm gonna be honest. That was on me. That was on me, guys. You can get the next one. Usually Ogre just sits right here. He just walls off whoever the enemy carry is. Razor is a hero that doesn't give a damn about that. Like, you know, even heroes like... Good try, dude. Even heroes like Quap, like, you know, they'll be able to poke back at the Ogre, but with 8 armor, like, they don't actually get that much done. If the Ogre tries that, Leo style just takes all his damage and then just chews through the Ogre like nothing. So Bardinho is here. He does have the Fire Blast, which maybe he's going to try to set up some sort of toss combo with ADR, but this Leo style Razor should have almost a perfectly clean lane. Like, there's very, very little that this mess of melee heroes can do versus a Razor. It's just not in the cards. This is maybe going to be a little bit of a concern for Tekka. He is going to be able to, you know, get out from danger most of the time, but still Flux does its damage. Toss back onto a Sand King. Leposa out of nowhere with a chair. And now with 3 heroes beating down on him, just a couple more right clicks. ADR doesn't have any damage. He has another toss, though. Tosses the Razor straight up for the extra disable duration, and Leposa sneaks in his claws for an additional kill. For a kill. That was not an additional kill. That was just the first one. The rotation from Sand King out of the off lane is something we don't really see all that often nowadays. Tekka, oh, he gets the bounty rune, and then he jumps to the orb and gets the bounty rune. Woo! Plays from Tekka already. Dude, again, we've solved this problem from Sacred. Like, they got this game locked up now that they switched things up. As I say that, their poor old man Courier is going to get stapled in the face. Theo, he got like 4 Courier snipes in the last game as Bounty Hunter, which is like kind of to be expected. You don't expect to get Courier snipes as an Elder Titan like ever, because that's not really what the hero does. So yeah, you know, starting things off on a very consistent basis. There you go. Costa's in a little bit of trouble actually. Got voided, orbed as well. Only a couple of spells on these guys, so they're not really that powerful just yet. So they can't necessarily kill him. Actually, this Arc Warden is deceptively tanky. A couple of Wraiths gonna be thrown out. Flux will be shared. Doesn't really do all that much. They look at the Fire Blast. Another Ghost coming out. Matthew is going to get spotted by the Ghost and drop. Theo is fighting Tekka to the death. Oh, dies to the creeps because they weren't attacking the Ogre, who would have been able to eat those creep shots all day long. But yeah, Costa, just looking at the stats, it's like very surprising to see a hero that looks like this with this set of stats. Agility made an attribute lowest. All bounced around that Tempest double, of course. But yeah, actually getting into these kind of slow poke skirmish fights, that's really something that Arc Warden can handle. His spells are really, really low cooldown. Specifically the Spark Wraith. Flux is insane. I wish I got rid of this guide. I don't think I could get rid of this guide from here, though. So you guys have to read this guide of whoever wrote this. I have no idea who this is. Looks like they got a toss back. Leo Styles fully body blocked. Just dying to range creeps, dying to the staple gun. Alright, well, you know, this is really the only way that they have of responding to this Razor. If it's not going to be through tosses, they will never get the kill. They will try to retreat Arc Warden into these melee heroes. Bardinho is here as well. They'll go for the Puck instead of the Night Stalker. Costa is going to get the Flux out, but another Void will get the kill. They do smash the Puck, but the neutrals come in and steal it. Oh, this Dark Troll piece of S is going to snag that kill away from SG Esports. They're going to try to go for Matthew as well, but this is a Night Stalker in nighttime we're talking here. He's level 3, so you can't really mess with him all that much. So they are able to at least take the Puck off the board, I guess. ADR, what you doing? What you doing, ADR? He's just... What is he doing? He's just bringing the creeps to the neutral camp? So look to Avalanche, toss them down. What?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I know, right? That's exactly what I was thinking. Now that, I mean, the creeps are just gonna come back in. He'll get the wave. It looks like he'll get a double wave. XD, guys. XD. Alright, well, mission accomplished. Avalanche looking for the toss back. Oh, but he gets nailed by the unstable current. Just a small amount of slow there. I think if he doesn't get hit by that, if it isn't leveled up or whatever, then he gets a toss back. I'm pretty sure a toss back doesn't mean a kill, but you know, tried to go for it anyway. Theo, stomp, will drive Matthew back. Ghosties, not quite in range of the Night Stalker, but you know, the Elder Titan will be able to retreat back into the trees.
Top tower is under attack.
Costa's working some serious threat right now, but we gotta remember the top lane is also a lane that is happening right now. Benjez up towards the top lane has been having a perfectly clean lane, pretty much 1v0. I mean, Sand King roamed out a little bit. That's something that's, again, you don't get to see all that often because Sand Kings usually have a much better laning stage. And you don't really need to. Dude, are they really not going to grab this bounty rune? They want it for the ADR, and they get it for ADR. Ooh, such greed here from SG Esports, but it worked out. Theo looking to cut off Tekka. Has a spirit, no stomp though, so he can't really do much else except for give vision. There's a toss. There's no mana for Avalanche though, and Tekka is going to be just fine. Bardino's going to get right click down. Okay, SG have to calm down just a little bit here, because that's, yeah, that's a little bit too far.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But yeah, again, top lane, Benjez has nothing to worry about whatsoever. Armlet is his first item. He definitely could have gone for Hand of Midas first, and I don't think that would have been at all punishable. Going for this build means that they are looking to step up the aggression, and I think that is definitely the way they want to be building towards Arc Warden if they can. And this is a situation where they definitely can. So, you know, gotta try to apply that pressure. The Puck is having a pretty good lane, all things considered. Died. I think this just counts as, did he die actually once to heroes? I actually don't know if he died to heroes or if that just counts the creep deaths. We can actually see, because we get 2-2. Yeah, that's just the neutral creep death. So being able to survive means that he's getting quite a lot of experience. So it means when you expect to get a slightly earlier Blink Dagger, even if you don't, you get a faster coil, and then you're able to join up with your lifesteal and just do extra damage there with those infest kills. The Elder Titan tried to go for this pull. Matthew over the trees. That is the longest range melee punch I've ever seen in my life. He is going to land. Flux is still there. The Ghosty not ready to fire off just yet. They toss the Ogre in. Avalanche as well. They will kill off Matthew. Looks like Costa was able to retreat back. Was that his clone? Was that just not looking? Perhaps.
Nothing for you.
By the way, sorry for the dogs, guys. Cannot control when she barks. It just kind of happens.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But yeah, Armlet together with the high-level Puck means that they're looking to step up this pressure and really apply the global map-wide pressure to Costa on this bottom lane. And obviously, Costa's going to be going for Hand of Midas. I hear Hand of Midas on Arc Warden is pretty good. I don't know. It's an above-average item for the hero. I don't think I've ever seen an Arc Warden not go for this item. Because, you know, I probably have, and I just, like, mentally blocked it out of my mind. He's going to do some serious damage to Tekka. Double Flux is going to kick in. Although there are no more ghosts in the area. They're going to drop 2 more. Both of whom are out of range. Both of whom or both of which? I don't actually know. All you English majors out there. Spark Wraiths, which one is it? Tiny is doing not terribly in the CS department, actually. Perhaps the more important thing is that he's keeping up with the Razor in CS, more or less, while at the same time showing up a lot in these other lanes. So ADR playing this Tiny kind of like the pre-rework Tiny, and you know, even though he did get the tree throw and did get this huge skill rework, Avalanche and Toss still works, man. Like, they still do Avalanche and Toss things. Speaking of Avalanche and Toss back, Razor is still linked up to the Tiny. But I think Bardino and Theo might be able to get this kill. Zoku coming in, probably not. Cast bounce through against all these melee heroes. That's value from the Witch Doctor pick right there. And Leo Style draining out every little bit of Tiny's damage. Means that, yeah, he is just the Avalanche and Toss. Yeah, I was going to say, like, Tiny in the mid lane, not really commonly seen as far as, you know, this build is concerned. It still works. It's like the old Tiny build. Costa's in a little bit of trouble, actually. Does have 5 stick charges, but another orb should just get the kill. He's melee range, so you can't miss the orb. Does still have the Flux on him, will do a little bit of damage, but you know, really Flux is all about that slow. And let's see your Rain Hero do the damage. Tekka does have another orb out here. Bardino is coming in. The orb will be spotted on the retreat, and there is a Tiny here. Avalanche and Toss. You're dead, Puck. Bam. Tekka's gonna have his 4-kill spree ended by ADR. I gotta assume that Tiny in this game is playing like pretty much exactly like the old school Tiny. You just get Blink Dagger, you just, you probably don't get Aghanim Scepter, but you just look for kills like 24/7. Just non-stop look for kills. And even though he does have this ability to clear Ancients or whatever, that's not his job in this game. ADR is not the carry. Costa is the only carry, and he is the only one who should be looking for creep kills.
Radiant's top tower
He'll
is
kill
under
off heroes too if he can get them, which he will. Easy double clone kill. Just giving up the double? Okay, sure. That's going to be Hand of Midas in the bag. Gonna lose a little bit of damage to this Razor. Leo style definitely doesn't have enough gas in the tank to get the kill here onto the Arc Ward, especially now with Flux. Ghost is going to apply the damage as well.
under attack.
Decent amount, but Razor is no pushover here. Theo spotted by Matthew. This Night Stalker phase boots doing some serious damage. Do have the Sand King coming in. Leposa's had a very quiet game. I think mostly just in this area, jungling. He was messing with Benjaz a little bit, keeping the Sandstorm as kind of a get-out-of-jail-free card there.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But this is Sacred, doing pretty well, breaking even out of these lanes. But they do have this absolute juggernaut of a lifestealer
Radiant's top
kind of
tower
waiting in
is
the wings
falling.
here. Is Yasha done? No, that's done. So he's got a lot of movement speed with the armlet, a lot of damage.
I'll take your treatment.
Not the fastest Blink Dagger in the world here for Tekka, but I do still think that this lifestealer, whenever he wants to, really can crack into this game and just start destroying everybody. It's going to be so hard to deal with, and obviously the sooner the better. You don't really want to get this build, Armlet Yasha, and then go farm creeps for 30 minutes. That's the Hand of Midas build. That's the Hand of Midas playstyle with a fighting build. I mean, you don't really want to be doing that. So he really should look to at least get killed on whoever he could find, first of all. If he can find the Tiny, if he can find the Arc Warden, obviously he's priority. Oh, Theo, once again, has to deal with Matthew. Good luck using Stomp here. Crippling Fear is going to be held. Theo is going to get phase booted down, I think. He has really no answers to this Night Stalker by himself. He's going to try to juke, but there's no way you can juke this spooky Night Stalker, so easy kills for Matthew. Yeah, I mean, you could try to Echo Stomp. You probably should have tried to Echo Stomp, because you at least pull 50 mana out from the Night Stalker. It's better than nothing. Benjaz does pick up a Blightstone. Desolator, obviously not part of his build anytime soon, but oh, fuck. The recipient of that surprise Blink Dagger play by ADR, and also Leposa grabs his own Blink Dagger. Mass TP is going in mid. Matthew is going to be very quickly surrounded. He only sees Costa. Does that ward see the Ogre Magi? I don't think it does. Well, they're not going to know that about this. Everyone and their mom jumps in. Leo style is going to get obliterated. Multicast onto the Witch Doctor now, and he's just swarmed with melee heroes and a couple of spooky ghosts. Costa's going to grab that kill. In fact, he's going to grab both of those kills. So that is going to be a huge pickup here for the Arc Warden. I mean, the Tiny doesn't really need anything else. Tiny nowadays does build towards a little more of a classic carry build, and it's like he'll just stay with the, I mean, this is a little bit of an older school Tiny build. Not too uncommon nowadays, but, you know, more old school than new. Benjaz is going to find Costa with the Yasha movement speed. He is going to be able to catch up. There is the bubble, which is going to give him some nice evasion, but not enough, really. The Burrow Strike is going to land, would have landed onto 2, but the Rage is maxed out here, so Leposa can only do so much in that situation. ADR, though, comes in. Avatos, that's a dead lifestealer. With a double damage rune on the rock monster, you can't stop him. Stomp is going to be canceled out by the silence. Burrow Strike is there. They do both get coiled up here as ADR is waiting for his cooldowns right now, but there are way too many Dire Heroes coming in. They have overplayed their hands. They'll lose Leposa and Theo, chasing after that Night Stalker. Losing that Arc Warden beforehand already means that you're at a disadvantageous position. Tiny does have a lot of burst damage here with this double damage, but not enough to confidently go into a Razor. It's both of whom works too. If Spark Wraiths are alive, it's whom. Yeah, they have to be living, right? We're gonna call these things alive. Summon the Spark Wraith that patrols. Yeah, they're alive. Are Spark Wraiths alive then? That raises a whole new set of questions. I mean, that really is the only question that you have to answer, right? Are they actually living creatures? What is life? You guys can talk about that in the chat. I'm not going to think about that because that's a stupid topic of discussion. But yeah, even though the Arc Warden does drop, even though he is behind the Lifestealer, they do end up killing the Lifestealer. The Arc Warden is still Going to go for the Maelstrom. Should be pretty standard build. Ooh, Burst Strike onto the Night Stalker. They're also going to jump in and stack up Masoku with Matthew. They are a little bit low on the disables to get both, though, so they'll just settle for the one. Poor Masoku. Didn't see that one coming. Yeah, the Arc Warden should be going for a pretty standard build here. Get the Lightning Hammer after the Midas, get the Travels after the Hammer. Doesn't seem like he has any huge need for a Sheepstick Orchid type item. I'm sure he will get one eventually, but I'm not really sure if it's going to be right after. Might just get the Mjolnir or maybe a Shadow Blade or some form of initiation item for his clone to go on these assassination trips. Regardless, he still will have the gold just piling on in. Lifestealer, he's going to look to get gold through other means. Got the S&Y completed, Desolator on the way next, along with Tekka, who does have his fresh Blink Dagger. You find any given hero, and that probably is going to be a kill. The only exception being perhaps Leposa, who can Burst Strike up a hill. Kind of a narrow corner case there, but anyone else is just going to instigate to that. Unfortunately for them, they're looking in the wrong part of the map. Everyone is up towards the top side, and no one's down here. You will see the fake Arc Warden come in. He'll steal his damage. You don't really, like, in a fight, want to be stealing damage from a clone, really, but, I mean, it works. You still get 200 damage at the end of the day. Smoke was pinged out. Purple just pinged a Smoke, or pinged someone was here, so he's going to scout ahead with the Spirit. You know, I guess maybe stealing the damage from the clone is better, because it'll time out by itself. You still keep the damage, though. You still get the damage, and it's more likely that Costa moves his main hero away than his clone. Like, you tend to micro your main hero more. I don't actually know which one's technically better.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dude, I love this chat right now. I've done something disastrous starting this topic of conversation. Leposa is going to get coiled out of the Sandstorm, does snap it immediately. Burrow strikes out, and will actually survive. Again, Leposa's the only one who can actually survive that. They do draw out the coil, which means the party is now free to get started. Dire Courier's gonna die again. How do they keep on sniping the Courier? How is that even possible? They found Razor in a corner, is gonna get dudes to death, gets Flux, and yanked back. Thanks to the Earth Splitter. Backup coming in, though, from the die. They're taking control of the Tiny. Now Costa's in a really precarious position. Does not want to be anywhere near this. Cass gonna bounce through. Keep him chain stunned. The Leposa comes in with the Epicenter. Does a lot of damage to everyone, but not enough damage to anyone. They might get Masoku here, maybe, if they're really lucky, but they will lose pretty much everyone else. They lose Bardinho. Leposa doesn't have enough mana to reinitiate with the Burrow Strike, and the Elder Titan as well will fall. I did not see what happened to that Tiny there. I got to assume he was infest ganked. And you can avalanche toss somewhat, but he does not have enough armor to withstand a Lifestealer gank. He probably will just never have enough armor to withstand a Lifestealer gank unless he gets literally an Assault Cuirass, gets a couple more points and grow.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'll take your tribute.
It's pretty much the perfect hero for Benjaz to be killing. And of course, Costa didn't really expect to be swarmed with heroes that quickly. If you're ever caught as the main Arc Warden, man, you better hope you have your Tempest double there, because you need double the DPS and double the spells in order to fight your way out of that, because you're not getting out of there otherwise. Unless you get a Force Staff, then you have a chance. Have your clone Force Staff you out, and then Force Staff yourself out afterwards? Not bad. Of course, not up just yet. Will be a really good item to have versus that Lifestealer, versus that Razor. Do have to watch out versus that Puck, though. Coil snaps are not to be underestimated nowadays. And sometimes if you get hit with that coil and you Force Staff yourself out because you were just in the middle of doing that anyway, ooh, that's painful. Speaking of painful, they completely mess up the combo, but it doesn't matter at all. Because Lifestealer ganks are just that powerful. That's even without Desolator, which he should have very soon. Now looking for ADR on the bottom side. He does have a Shadow Blade. Matthew doesn't have any detection here, nor does Tekka, so ADR probably just has a free route out of here. Ogre Magi does not, though. And you know what, Ogre Magi? It was nice knowing you, but sometimes it's just not your day. Sacred's starting to pick up the pace here. They may lose Leo style, perhaps. Actually, no, that's just Theo and Leposa. Definitely do need a third hero. The only hero that can actually help out, though, is Arc Warden, and he's dead for 10 seconds. So they'll Burrow Strike him. Echo Stomp him and Epicenter him. Is that enough damage? He puts up the barrier. ADR's here, actually. No, they definitely have enough damage with ADR's arrival. Tiny out of nowhere with a chair. And Leo Style is going to die. Small price to pay there for Sacred. Of course, you don't want to be losing Leo Style, but getting everyone else across the map, including this Costa clone. Not really sure if he deserved that Death Ward, but, you know, it's fine. Costa absolutely needs to keep surviving. He already has his kind of base kit of necessary items up, but he really needs to get to a point where he is going to be a really, really large split pushing force. Would like to get to a point where he's a real assassination type force as well. Now, obviously, if you run into a Lifestealer and Puck, there's not much you can do about that. Like, you're gonna die. Shit happens, man. Again, up until the point where you get a 4-staff Hurricane Pike, stuff like that. Or maybe even Sheepstick, you can answer that to some degree. But you're not going to get to that point if you just keep on getting jacked up. Like, this is fine for right now, but definitely needs to pick up some really, really heavy items, because Arc Warden you expect to kind of be like a Tinker. They're very similar in what they want to get done and the type of role they kind of serve on a map-wide scale for the team. You get these first couple of items, that's great. You can do your bare minimum. Kind of want to do more than that. Wow, that cask bounce between all the Ancients goes right back to the Ogre. Like, he was dead anyway, but man, that's kind of unlucky. They do take down the top tier 2 in the meantime, while the Ogre Magi is once again giving his life for the team. Is this a Tekka surprise? Oh, it is. Orb up. Costa is not going to be spotted by it. Don't move. Don't breathe. Yep, that'll do it. He'll have a 4-staff next to Posa. Going to the Sandstorm. Matthew is here with a lot of dust, though. And Leposa, 4-staffs out. Straight to Masoku. Stomp is going to be combo breaking. 2 heroes. Death Ward goes on to Leposa. What level is that Maledict? Only level 1, so that's definitely not to get the kill in and of itself. And Jess thinking of moving forward here. Bardino thinking of moving forward as well. Probably shouldn't. But no more split push active right now. Not sure where the double went, but puts a lot of momentum onto this top lane. Bottom lane should be, with the fortification, definitely will be pushing back towards the Dire, but there's still a tier 1 there, so, you know, very, very minor amounts of threat for the Dire side to worry about. They don't really have an abundance of pushing, even though they do have a Desolator and Lifestealer. They will have to dodge a lot of crap in order to actually push this tower. Mostly this Elder Titan Rage from Benjaz will keep him swinging. But will Shats fall back? Costa's clone is going to arrive. The value is being lost. Dude. The pings are real. He's going to go for the Mjolnir after the 4-staff. Yeah, he doesn't really have a huge demand for a Bloodthorn Sheepstick type item in this game. Just has to make sure that he has a good position in the fights. Maybe just the team that needs more bulk or needs to land better burrow strikes, stuff like that. Maybe that's a little bit unreasonable. Get an Earth Splitter, get a nice Echo Stomp there from the ET. Ooh, he actually does have an Atos in the works. Oh, Tekka. Oh, Tekka accidentally coiled someone. He accidentally coiled the Arc Warden clone and missed. Oh, toss back onto Leo Style. Makes a multicast as well. The Stomp is committed. Now he's fluxed up. And he's going to get effed up for real in 2 ways there. They also catch the Witch Doctor with the Burrow Strike with Costa, this time in the perfect position, in the back behind all of the allies, right-clicking in freely. That is the dream for Arc Warden right there. And that is the dream enabled by ADR with a perfect toss back on the Razor. Razor is still, like, so bulky. Like, look at this build. He does not want to get insta-gibbed. But he did. It just happened. Now he's going to look for Benjaz. Avalanche, toss, Burrow Strike, and immediately obliterated. Whew. Lifestealer has about the same amount of health as the Razor. Takes a little more magic damage, but man, he just got obliterated. ADR stepping things up with just initiation power overwhelming. Tower is going to get obliterated. These attack speeds not to be taken light of. And oh, Leposa maybe going a little bit too far there. There is a coil, but Puck's just by himself, so he can't really go for that. Dude, ADR just getting 2 nuts initiations off on 2 incredibly important heroes to kill off. And every single time you get the initiation like that, you pretty much guarantee that your Arc Warden is going to have a free time in that fight. Like, he will just be in whatever position he desires, hitting whoever he desires. Matthew with the stomp. Oh, are they really going for this? They have an Epicenter, they have a Burrow Strike. These Night Stalker, though, is barely going to take any damage from that because he has a pipe. Okay, well, that was maybe not ideal. Neo style. He's going to find ADR, who actually has no mana. He can stick up. That's still not enough for Shadow Blade. He is going to take a lot of damage here. Earth Splitter is going to come out, stomp. He'll catch Leo style, and they'll force that ADR back to the base. He has Blink Dagger and Shadow Blade all now up. Burrow Strike into Tekka. ADR is going to jump for an Avalanche, and then yeah, go invis out of there. They actually stall at Tekka. Can they kill him? One more shot, they got him. And they save ADR. Dude, what? This guy, what happened? ADR is just stepping up in a huge way. What the hell? It's like 25 minutes? Okay, it's time for me to play Tiny seriously. It's time for me to start killing everybody. I would take things I would not expect for $1,000, Alex. I mean, Tiny is just that type of hero. It's not hard to play a bad Tiny, or it's not hard to play a decent Tiny, but to play a really great Tiny, I mean, that takes some serious finesse. Like, you gotta be going into the right spots, getting the tosses on the right people. It's really all about that toss. Setting up your cleave angles, perhaps as kind of a secondary task for your Tiny. 3K lead now for SG, and Costa's on top of the net worth chart, exactly where he wants to be. SG, for Sacred, it is kind of concerning that they have really not been able to make Puck Lifestealer work really at all. They've been able to find a couple of opportunities, it looks like, but for the most part, they've just been botched or just brick-walled by the literal wall of bricks that is Tiny. I mean, they still will have a pretty powerful Lifestealer. Now you're getting to a point in the game where Razor being teched for such a tanky opening means that he will slowly but surely start to fall behind in the farm department. Razor just naturally can't keep up against some of these other competing heroes. Steeler as well, having gone for this fighting build. He casts off the Razor first thing, is able to steal out a lot of Bardino's damage, but he gets a lot of damage, doesn't really take anything relevant away from SG. Still look at the kill. Now here comes the coil jump in. There goes 2 immediately afterwards, and that's what I'm talking about from Tekka and Benjaz. Hey, look at that, Roshan is almost dead as well. Kind of a greedy attempt there from SG to go for that Roche. Arc Warden with the double is pretty good at killing off Roche, but he's not really the best hero. They'll have to give that Aegis to Benjaz. ADR, TP's out. Not gonna happen, bro. So now he has to fight his way out here, and he's actually just getting clawed down by this Night Stalker. Dude is doing some serious damage. It's gonna be a 4 kill for none as Sacred suddenly swing things right back around. Double damage was on Lifestealer, so that definitely doesn't hurt. And now with the Desolator to get to work. Leo Style doesn't have any additional damage on himself, but there is literally nobody to worry about right now. The Sand King doesn't even have a TP. TP'd out right before that fight happened, it looks like. Kosa, even if he lands an Epicenter right now, he'll land a Burrow Strike, has a Force Staff, and a Yule Scepter. They'll ignite a couple heroes, Echo Stomp a couple more. Earth Splitter coming in with the Avalanche toss into the tier 4s. Leo Style, though, is so fast with his SNY drums. And Phase, of course, that he'll just zip on out of there. Tekka's gonna land a Quell, but here comes the Epicenter. Benjaz gonna absorb all of that with the Rage. They do get the sounds with the Sand King, there's the Yule Scepter. Benjaz looking for the Rax first and foremost. Will fail to get it, but it looks like the team should be able to grab it afterwards. The Benjaz Lifestealer is back. He'll take down the melee Rax, but they will lose the Razor after that. Benjaz now in the Rage is gonna find some claws to, no, never mind, TP out. The damage already having been done. We'll drop the melee Rax. Tekka will TP out. They're chasing forward, looking for Matthew. Blind up to the high ground goes Laposa. They see Matthew now, so I'm pretty sure they know where he is. Avalanche. Toss up. Toss nowhere. Matthew doesn't have Hunter. He is going to juke and then walk away. Okay, Night Stalker is a hero. Not bad at all, Night Stalker. Not bad at all. But suddenly Sacred take melee Rax. Nice little game there. Matthew, don't think he was actually spotted by the Ogre. He doesn't have a lot of vision at nighttime. Because it's nighttime. do have Tekka and Benjaz once again on the hunt. Posa narrowly getting out of there.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Costa now going for the Orchid. Trying to get some sort of response. Puck already does have the Lincoln Sphere. Lifestealer, if you Orchid him, could be really powerful. You really do need to keep your distance though. Hurricane Pike / Force Staff. There are 2 on the team. I guess you can call it 3 on the team. With this fake. But Sacred, having taken melee racks, definitely a big gain for them. Not something that SG Esports cannot handle. They have an Arc Warden after all. Oh, Puck, maybe using a couple too many of his mobility spells to farm this wave, is going to get spotted by the Spooky Ghost. And there are a lot of Spooky Ghosts incoming. He's going to jump down to the side shop. Costa, once again, puts down a Wraith. Link down to the south. Dekka is out of there. Burrow Strike could have been casted, but Lincoln Sphere would have blocked that, so you have to like see him, Yules, and Burrow Strike, or whichever one, sequence it however you want. Just make sure that it lands. Tekka's able to slip away there. Level 21 on the Puck, pushing towards that gold talent pretty quickly. And he's not actually like overloaded in items just yet, so once he does get that gold talent, he'll probably have, you know, Dagon 5, maybe start building up another item by then, but for the most part, he will get a lot of value out of that additional income. Being able to fund Razor's items in like a Moon Shard also is not nothing. Like the hero, again, really does struggle at keeping up in farm. Being able to supplement your allies as Puck is quite a big deal. ADR is going to start pushing on this top lane. Toss does do damage to structures, not if they're fortified, of course. It will draw the enemies back from mid towards top. The problem is that Bardinho is going to get really messed up in the jungle. Came to the wrong neighborhood, Ogre Magi. He's going to let ADR escape, I guess. Reno, Ogre Magi. Tekka gonna find ADR. Coil is there. He is going to have so much status resistance. Benjaz will TP out. It will avalanche the Puck, toss him up as well. Damage-wise is going to be enough to get the kill. Now looking for Matthew. Burrow Strike just out of range, but he has a Yule Scepter. Or not. I guess he doesn't want to use the Yule Scepter there. Man, I would have used the Yule Scepter there, and I probably would have regretted it because for some reason they're still chasing after Matthew. Avalanche. It looks like the rocks hit him on the head, but I guess not. He will use the Yule Scepter now, land him into a Burrow Strike. ADR has a toss for additional stuns. Costa is also here with the right clicks. Matthew will fall as well. That gank onto the Tiny with the Lifestealer, I mean, it is still very powerful. Your Feast does an incredible amount of damage, but now at this point where Tiny has level 3 grow, so he has all this status resistance, which means that Coil is less of a disable. And of course he has that additional armor, plus plate mail worth of armor. Means that, what is it, 58%? That's not a super easy kill to get on Tiny any longer. You can still get it on the Arc Warden. His armor and survivability is a lot less, but ooh, they'll find themselves a Razor with the Atos. Keep him in place for full epicenter damage, just letting Costa right-click him. All of a sudden, SG Esports in 3 different locations around the map, getting 3 consecutive kills.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's just going to come to a head where they're just going to get a really unfortunate fight, and then they're going to lose another set of racks. Like, calling it right now. They're doing really well at splitting up the map, but all you need is just one surprise gank from this Puck. With an Assault Cuirass now on the Lifestealer, a little more minus armor along with that Desolator. Oh, Posa is going to Force Staff out of the Coil. Has Yule Scepter for himself, but too late, he's already dead. Benjaz does not have Rage, though. He's going to walk straight up into Theo. Bardinho, he's going to try TP out, but there's Ags on Matthew. They will see the Ogre cancel his TP out. Theo as well will probably live. Yes, he will. Bardinho is dead to the Maledict, it looks like. Pop goes the Ogre. Bam. And it'll be 2 heroes going back the other way of Sacred. The Arc Warden was pushing pretty much all the lanes at the same time. Hand of Midas looks like it might be almost time to let that one go. Obviously, Orchid has the upgrade into the Thorn. Aquila has an upgrade into literally anything, so he still has quite a long ways to go with this item. You can keep it in your backpack as well as Arc Warden. It's still going to have some pretty nice implications. He's not level 25 yet, so you want that additional experience gain from the Hand of Midas. he's getting to that point. Starting to get to that point. ADR in the meantime. His farm rate is still doing pretty well for himself. Salt Cuirass will be a really big item to get. They will find Theo. He's going to try to glimmer into the trees. Get silenced out of it, though. They will be able to bring him down. Drop the gem on the floor. Did they not have a gem? Looks like they... Do they have 2 gems now, or what happened there? Okay, yeah, they have 2 gems now. SG Sports really only have 1 hero that has any invisibility at all, and Sandstorm, if that's nullified, it's not a terribly huge deal.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack.
This sustains, gold remains.
Bloodthorn now up. Bloodthorn is, that's why I was talking about BKB carriers. I mean, Rage is a good kind of BKB substitute up until the point where these Bloodthorns come up. They will... Did they force staff Bardino down? They tried to. He's actually stuck on the hill. Did Puck do? No, that was Costa. Why did Costa do that? I don't understand. Now the coil has a chance to land on a couple heroes in just a couple seconds, though. It's not actually up. Tekka maybe overcommitted. Avalanche tossed back into Bardino. Fire Blast is going to be blocked. Ignite is going to be dodged, but also already going to get a kill onto Masoku, and will also find a kill onto Tekka, as now they get the Soul Rend onto the Lifestealer. Ripperino in the pepperonis. Once you get Soul Rended as Lifestealer, it is just all over for you. He's going to go for a BKB next to try to answer that item, but I mean, he doesn't have it right now, and he's going to really regret it. That's 3 heroes down in as many minutes. SG Esports funneling all this cash into this Arc Warden. And already the Bloodthorn getting some serious... Oh, not Courier again! Why is a Courier even out here? Like, what's over here? What's in this, like, half of the map that has anything? There's so many Couriers killed in this series. This is more Couriers killed in this 2-game so far series than all of yesterday. Actually insane. Aeon Disc. If you... I'm pretty sure you don't want your Epicenter to do no damage. I'm not sure if this is a good item. I like Lotus. I think that's a little bit of a better item. Aeon Disc seems like it's very, very situational in this particular game. Like, Sand King just can't afford to not do any damage. He needs that Epicenter, but you know what? Arc Warden doesn't have an Aeon Disc. He can still do a lot of damage, and he is doing a lot of damage. Leo Style is back. ADR is on the front lines. Checks out an Avalanche to buy him a little bit of space. They will grab the racks and then blink away from the cask, which will still bounce down, but it's okay. They're spread apart enough. However, here comes the threat. It's Tekka. No Lifestealer is here, though. Costa and Laposa trying to get each other out to safety. Tempest Double does go up. They force staff out one more time. He's up on the high ground, but he's actually not hittable by anyone. No, Benez will find an angle, start clawing him down, and they will get the kill on the main Arc Warden. Chasing forward for Laposa as well. He's able to blink himself down to the low ground. Has 4 staff Yules and the disc, so he should be fine. In the meantime, Bardino, the split-pushing Ogre Magi from Hell, is going to try to TP out from Masoku, and it looks like he will get out to the base. With the regen, should be able to get away from that Maledict damage. Sand King, he's going to Burrow Strike out. Still, he has a couple seconds left till he has to blink. He's going to get it deactivated by the Urn, but the Aeon Disc kicks in, and now here comes the trap. Oh no, he's canceled! He canceled the episode with the toss! ADR, no! Oh, I mean, shit happens sometimes. I think it's probably a good thing for them, because they did not want to fight that. If they actually did fully channel the Epicenter, it wouldn't have done that much against the Razor. So that's probably a good thing. Still Costa not retreating. I think if they all retreated like in one direction, like Costa went down this way, everyone else kind of went this way. If they all retreated in one direction, that could have been, you know, at least SG able to reconsolidate and reconsider their options as a team instead of as a couple of individuals. It's going to cost them quite a bit, and with that pick-off on the Arc Warden, they'll go right back into the Roche Pit. Banjaz with the minus armor from the Desolator and the AC will do quite a bit of damage here, but here comes the Elder Titan Spirit. Will give them a little bit extra vision, costing up just 3 seconds as Travels here as well. What's going on in the back line? A couple of illusions causing some havoc. They will catch the Ogre, and Costa is here in not the perfect position, but he's still doing a lot of damage with Soul Rend onto that Puck. Red Splitter coming in won't really do all that much damage as Matthew's going to get caught by the Rod of Atos. Roshan has not been claimed yet, and it may just be that SG get here in time. Take down 2 heroes. Masoku doesn't have any true sight, so his Death Ward is literally doing nothing. And this exact same thing happened before, except the roles were reversed. Is that 2 Roshan or 3 Roshan? Looks like that was the second Rosh. So it's Aegis and Cheese for the Arc Warden and Tiny respectively. That's double gems in the Elder Titan. You should probably put one of those back because you don't need double True Sight. There are no doubly invisible heroes. Benjaz will grab a DD rune and back off. They do see the double damage, but with 3 heroes down, they're not going to respect it. Cheese on Tiny is so good. You will pretty much never be chain stunned to death as Tiny because he has so much status resistance, so every single time you will be able to cheese up. Here comes the Costa clone. Looking for that Soul Rend. Puts down the bubble of OP-ness. Yes, he said that, yeah. OP-ness. Screw you guys. Get the Soul Rend onto the Lifestealer. Just messing with him a little bit. I mean, the clone was timing out anyway. And it'll be mid-racks claimed. They're going to split up a lot, though. They really have to be careful here. Top lane, Leposa's going to go push that one by himself, but they really have to make sure they protect Costa. He does have the Aegis, so they will be able to reconsolidate their forces if they really need to, but still not a situation where they want to be forced into that spot. Costa's going to put up his additional clone into the last set of racks. Once again, bubble does go up. Here comes Tekka. Lands a coil onto 2 heroes, including the real Arc Warden. He's stuck in the middle of the fight right now. ADR, though, is doing quite a bit of damage. Leposa has a chance to channel that epicenter whenever he feels like it. Is not doing anything so far. 4 staffs out the Arc Warden, trying to keep him in safety, but now Benya's doing a lot of damage here. Costa is going to put his back against the wall, just start right-clicking in. He does a lot of damage. The epicenter coming in. They'll kill off Benjaz again. And Leo Style, he's stuck in the corner. Costa's going to pop right back up. Leo Style is actually stuck right now. We'll find a way out and around this Arc Warden, who's going to pop up with a secondary life and just go to work. Benjaz has bought back. Going to try to go for this Arc Warden, who is going to get some protection from Bardinho, I guess. He's going to put up the bubble evasion and try to force staff himself every which way. Tries to TP out now, but is going to get stunned by something. I'm not sure what. Probably this cast bouncing through. Costa's clone is still up and kicking, but it won't do enough damage here. Bardinho is going to fall. Actually, Soul Rend will get the kill into Masoku. Sand King now, the sole survivor, has Yule's Scepter still left for him. Gets silenced though. He just straight kill Tekka. He's going to Yule's himself. Has a blink and a Force Staff. Will dodge the orb. Actually, he almost landed in the orb. Coil's going to miss. And ultimately, that will be 4 heroes down for SG Esports. Do they use the cheese? Yes, they use the cheese and the Aegis. But they kill off 3, including Benjaz, and force out Benjaz's buyback. The racks still are held though. Sacred are still in this game. But man, oh man, is that a struggle. We just see this night and day difference between when Costa is in the front, like right here, and the fight is right here, and when he's over here, and the fight is right here. Like, there's just no comparison at all. That's part of the reason why Leposa was so hesitant to do anything, because he was like, I'm waiting for my Arc Warden who needs my help. I do feel like if he just went straight in with the epicenter, he could have still gotten the Force Staff out on the Arc Warden. He was just playing things very cautiously, and you can't blame him for that. But the Arc Warden is the centerpiece of the SG draft. If you lose your Arc Warden, you lose your fight, as we just saw. He's gonna get the health regen. I've seen a little bit of a mix of both. Sandstorm Blind is great and everything, but the right clickers have BKB / magic immunities, so they actually just don't care about that. Sheepstick on the Warden. One of his last big items here. Of course, he does have the lifesteal. I think that's like 99% standard. I don't think I've seen anyone go for Spark Wraith damage. It will do a lot, but you don't really want to amplify your spells at this point by flat amounts. Still has this Hand of Midas to replace, still has Moon Shards, still has the Boots of Travel, but for the most part, Arc Warden is as swole as can be. Tekka's going to run into absolutely everyone right now. Got to watch out for that coil. They are going to split up pretty darn well, including Isolate Benjaz, and force him to TP out, which means the chase is now on. Masoku, though, is the only hero they can actually find. They will be able to beat the hell out of him, and he's super dead. They also do catch eyes onto Matthew. He does have the full vision. It is darkness right now, so he has the map hacks. He's going to get lifted up regardless, though. They can just mess with him, keep him out of this fight. Maybe they'll be able to push elsewhere. I don't think they're ever going to kill him. They have Burrow Strike and Epicenter. They have a Sheepstick. Oh, yeah, here comes the heavy hitter. Costa's here. And it is still nighttime right now. Soul Rend, Flux, they'll get the kill on Matthew, who does not have a buyback. When crashing in really hard like that, separating the Sacred side and forcing Benjaz to TP out first thing, that is a winning engagement there. Winning play there for SG Esports, at least to win that engagement. ADR has a freaking double damage rune, so yeah, good luck, Buildings. That's going to be dropped there for a reason, but the post on the front lines is going to get hit with the Aeon Disc. He will be able to just walk out of this coil if he really wants to. They get the Soul Rend and the Sheep Stick off into the Razor, unable to kill him, but they will kill off the buildings, and that is probably better. Tekka, whoa, is over here, and GG's just straight called. Okay. I mean, Tekka doesn't have a buyback. I think they maybe could have made something happen without that, but I guess not. Classic SA with the most anticlimactic GGs of all time, easily of any region. Like, it's a little bit of a trend, actually. I'm not just saying it because of this game. No, it's happened a lot of time in the past. But guys, it is going to be SG Esports off of some pretty sick ADR Tiny plays, some rock solid Sand King plays, and of course, all buying space for that Arc Warden. 28-9. Yeah, we've seen better scores. It's a team effort, and that's all that matters. Sacred definitely have a couple of issues to work out, it seems. They are not... They're definitely experimenting with the whole Benja's off lane, Tekka safe lane thing. I'm not convinced. At least I think it needs a little more work before they actually like bring it to these real events. I do hope that Sacred are able to work that out because the team is very talented. They can definitely go far, as we've already seen, but just got to make sure those issues are ironed out. So SG Esports are able to 2-0 here in the semifinals, which means that they are going to have a future date with Pain Gaming. Should be happening tomorrow at around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, give or take an hour. It hasn't really been officially scheduled yet, but that's going to be happening tomorrow. Best of 5 should be a good one. For right now, guys, we are done. I'm Mike Loris. It's been a pleasure casting all these SA games for you guys. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to follow along for the conclusion. You can also follow me on Twitter at Mike Loris, or on Facebook if you prefer. That's Mike Loris Gaming there. Guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. GG.